This is the Big Daddy Roadshow. Sorry, I'm disappeared here all of a sudden. I'm going to play this quick little video, then we're going to bring the Queen of Gore back on the Big Daddy Roadshow. This is a Sunday chiller, not the Sunday chill, a Sunday chiller on the week of 10/27/2019. Let me see if I can bring this to the screen here. This is really cool, and it's worth waiting for, trust me. Chrome tab, Melancholia, this is called. Check this out. Bring it to the screen in 3. Let's see. Oh, I got to get rid of some files. Sorry about that. This is worth it, though. Here we go with the Queen of Gore, and we're going to start with this little freaky little video I found after I drop a few of these. I should be able to bring it up. There's a picture of the Queen of Gore in the center there, and here it comes to the screen right there. I'm going to make it larger so you can see this, and we'll also make it full screen, and then we'll bring the Queen of Gore to the show. Here we go. This is creepy. This is what the Queen of Gore looks like when she was playing as a child. Tonight we're going to talk about witches and other things creepy and gory. Heather, do you hear me? I'm trying to conjure up Heather here. You're not on the screen yet, but I hear you. How are you doing that? All right, let me get rid of some things and we're going to bring you live. Is this creepy? This is like you as a child. I know, right? So do I. All right, we're bringing her live. Let's see. Ooh, there she is on the screen. Hi, Heather. Hi, Queen of Gore.
Hi.
I guess what we'll do is we'll fade that music out. That's enough creepy music to start this show. This is the Big Daddy Roadshow Sunday Chiller, and this is the Queen of Gore on your screen. You don't see me yet. There's reason for that. I've disappeared myself. So that wasn't funny. That was a dead joke right there. It just died. So anyway, what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about the Salem witches? Start off with that, right?
Well, yeah, we could start off with that.
All right, let me see if I got my software working, because I tried to make it special. Kind of had a little faux pas there. I might be able to fix it. But we'll remove the creepy music. I'll make sure that's gone forever. And let me see if I can get myself on the screen with you so you don't feel all weird.
Yeah, I do feel a little weird right now.
Yeah, well, we're both weird. Let's see. It actually isn't letting me go with my camera. What's going on here? Hold on. Stand by. Technical difficulties. I know what you could do. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see. Do I have to? Oh, I know what I got to do. Sorry, my bad. I'm going to bring you down. I'm going to bring me up. Ready?
Okay.
There we go. Hey, everybody. It's Big Daddy. I'm in the dark. I got candles burning. And now I can bring Heather back. Hopefully, we'll be sharing the screen. Also, I don't know which way to go. And I got to go this way. Okay, cool. Hi, Heather. Welcome to the Big Daddy Road Show.
I still don't see you.
Oh, well, I'm there. Trust me. I'm on the finished product. It's you and me on the screen.
All right.
And I ask you not to be nude on this show. Could you please cover up cover up a little bit? What do you looks like you're all right. That's
I
a
have a
killer.
robe on.
I know. It's cool looking. It looks like a sorceress. Is that what they call them? Sorceress? Sorceress.
Yeah.
So tonight's show is about, I said, let's talk about something for Halloween. You came up with witches.
Yeah, it's one of the best things to probably start off with. We usually flow pretty freely, though, so I'm not worried about it.
Oh, God, I'm glad you have a drink. Your throat's like mine, all dry.
Yeah.
You know why mine's all dry? Because the candles are burning, like 16 of them, and it's like all dry heat in here. It's like 160 degrees right in this vicinity of my setup right here. Yeah.
Well, winter's coming. It usually everything gets dry.
Yeah, right? So where do we start this witch hunt? Oh, God.
Well, I have a whole book on witches and the history of witches, but the Salem, were you ever to Salem,
I was
Massachusetts?
not. My cousin Donna was to Salem with her daughter, and they loved it. Shout out to
Yeah,
Salem.
it's pretty cool. I wish that it was more authentic than it is today. There's a lot of shops and like psychic readers and everything if you go today. But it's pretty cool around Halloween time. They have a ball and stuff. But the witch trials started in 1692.
Yes.
But a lot of people associate witches burning at the stake. In Salem, it wasn't like that. They took them to the gallows. There was 19 people, 5 men and 14 women that were accused. And some of them died in prison awaiting trial. And the rest of them were hung, but except one man. One man was pressed or crushed to death.
Wait a second. He was pressed.
Yeah, basically just they kept putting large stones like weights on him until it completely crushed him. And the reason why he was different than the rest of them was because he refused to plead guilty.
He refused to plead guilty.
Yeah.
So he basically got a kangaroo court. I wonder, though, if that's where press for time came from, the old saying.
Maybe.
You're a little pressed for time. I'll have to look that one up. I like old time sayings. So, okay, so he got pressed.
Yeah. Pressed, crushed.
Wow. That's pretty gory and creepy, getting pressed to death. Huh. Okay, so
some of them got hung, and some of them died in prison just awaiting trial.
So you mean to tell me nobody got burned at the stake?
No, but where that comes from is the European witch trials, which was in like around the 1400s. I have actual like dates, but 1560 to 1630, the European witch trials all across Europe. 50,000 people were burned at the stake.
Wait a second. Now we're talking some crazy numbers. 50,000.
No, that's all across Europe.
Yeah.
But yeah, they rounded about 50,000 people.
Yeah, and the Americans.
And that's when they burned the witches at the stake, at the European witch trials.
And we're talking in the Americas, we're talking still Pilgrims days where we're like sharing corn and stuff with the Indians. So population wasn't that big. So to have even 19 people was still probably big talk around town.
Yeah. Well, a lot of that happened was because there was a girl that was having like seizures and stuff, and she accused 3 of the women of like pricking her with pins and stuff. And even though this girl was checked she was epileptic, she was having seizures and stuff, but the doctor said he had found no marks on her body, but she still accused 3 girls. and I wrote down their names. It was Sarah Good, Sarah Osborne, and Tituba. Tituba?
Tituba? Tituba.
Yeah.
That's a great name
Yeah.
for a witch.
Well, she was a South American Indian slave, which is um, one of the reasons why there was no questioning that she was a witch. And one of the girls was like a homeless beggar. So there was no questioning that she was a witch too. And the other girl didn't go to church,
So she was obviously a witch.
obviously.
Jeez, it's crazy. But then again, think if you just had a think if you just had a girl or a boy that was just odd. You know, we have odd people in the world. They're going to stand out, and if they had any kind of crazy personality like you or me, we would have been definitely hung.
Yeah.
You know, we would not fit good in 1600 and something or other.
No.
And
I wouldn't even be able to pretend.
we're talking. This is pre-Revolutionary War. This is a good 100 years before any of that's action. So. But I guess they had court systems in
Yeah.
Europe, and when they came over, they continued them. But
Well, this was like you said, the Puritans, and women and men were equal in the eyes of God, but not in the eyes of the devil, because women were weaker and everything. They figured the devil can take women over a lot easier and possess them.
you know, I just realized I didn't share my own show. I better do that. They're starting to trickle in, though. Christine says, "Hi, Big Daddy." Hi, Christine. Good to see you. John Lupo says, "I grew up in a family of horror fans, so I'm immune to horror." Oh yeah, that sounds like a threat to Heather, the Queen of Gore, on the Big Daddy Roadshow.
It's not a threat. I like hearing things like that. I grew up with horror ever since I was a little kid. I mean, I was born in 1980. I remember watching
Were you really born in
Nightmare on Elm.
1980?
Yeah, I was watching Nightmare on Elm Street as they were being released and coming out, and the Friday the 13th, and I don't know
Hey,
the.
listen, I know my audience, especially my male audience, is going to love it if your robe has a little dishevelment going on, but just be careful with your robe tonight.
I have a shirt on.
It's funny. It's just so funny. I see it moving and I'm freaking
I'm
out.
ready for bed already.
I know, right? Well, too bad. You got to work. It's Halloween week. We need somebody to talk about gory stuff.
I know. Well, I love Halloween. I didn't get to any Halloween parties this year. My kids are more important. My daughter had her Halloween party last night that I had to take her to and run back and forth and stuff. So,
Well, thanks for being on this show when you have like an hour before you have to go to bed and you got to get up at 5 o'clock in the damn morning. But I went to a Halloween party about 2 weeks before Halloween. I went to the Philadelphia Psychiatric Hospital. Woo, was that spooky?
No, that wasn't, not Eastern State.
No, it was
Which one?
Bell.
Penhurst?
No, not Penhurst. What are you? No, no, I'm not kidding here. I'm not joking. I actually went to a psychiatric hospital for cutting medication a doctor gave me by mistake. I went cold turkey. Yeah, it was called Belmont Behavioral Hospital, and it was creepy. The first night I was there, I had two roommates. I didn't know if Jack the Ripper was in the bed next to me or what.
I thought you went to like
No, that would be
haunt.
Penhurst. My Susie Q used to live in Penhurst before they put her in my mom's in her personal care home. But
Well,
no,
we talked about Penhurst before on another show because some of the people that I take care of at work came from Penhurst.
Hey, how about this now? Mackenzie Gabo says, "Hello, my queen." Oh, you got other subjects in the chat already.
That's my grandson's mom.
Awesome. Well, welcome to the Big
I
Daddy.
love her.
Nancy is asking, Wiccan? Is that witch related? Wiccan? While you're doing that, I'll look to see if I can share this.
Yeah,
show.
well, that's more of today. A lot of people started becoming Wiccan in the 90s.
Oh, was it the fad, or what? What do you say?
No, there's a lot more Wiccans today, but it started becoming popular in the 90s.
How did okay, if it only became popular in the 90s, where did it come from? Like what? Let's see. Like I'm Roman Catholic, but I don't practice. I'm more spiritual today. What faiths did it derive from, or what faith did it? How did people in the 1990s find it all of a sudden? Did they just go, "Oh, I'm going to be a Wiccan. That's cool. I dig that."
No. It was before that. It just started to become more popular in the 90s. Wiccans are like the witches of today, but most people only practice white magic because Wiccan, they have basic, they have an ode, like rules to follow. The rule of three, which do no harm to nobody. It'll come back to you threefold if, just try to do good and put good out there.
That's number one. What's number two? Don't step on a crack in the sidewalk.
I have the whole thing if you want me to read you the whole
Well,
Wiccan ode.
you're kind of you practice the Wiccan faith pretty much, don't you, or no?
I don't consider myself Wiccan though. I read like tarot cards and stuff. I consider myself spiritual. Don't really consider myself Wiccan because I don't really do spells or anything.
Oh, damn it! I was going to ask you to
I
make it.
have. I have years ago, but a lot of people. There's a lot of people don't understand like spells and things like that. But the thing about that is, a spell for a Wiccan is basically the same thing as a prayer for any Christian. You're just asking a higher power to help you with something.
See, I read somewhere where Wiccans don't necessarily. Again, I don't want to muddy up the conversation either. Are Wiccans witches, or are witches Wiccan, or are they not connected? I read that they don't even believe in gods. That's what I read, but they could have been reading some bad source.
They believe in gods and goddesses, not necessarily the like Christian God.
Okay. All right. And Nancy says she knows. Shut up, Big Daddy. Let her talk. All right. Go ahead. Keep reading.
I'll let you read the whole ode. I have it.
Go ahead. Oh, so it's beyond more than three things, or is that all three things on that?
It says, "Bide by the Wiccan law ye must, in perfect love, in perfect trust. 8 words the Wiccan read fulfill, and ye harm none, do as ye will, and never mind the rule of 3. What ye send out come back to thee. Follow this with mind and heart, and merry ye meet, and merry ye part."
So be cool and leave cool.
Yeah, don't
and get shit. And what's the first one?
Basically, don't harm anybody. Always hope the best for somebody, and your spells use to help you become a better person. Like, you're not really supposed to do like love spells and stuff. You're not supposed to make other people fall in love with you. And
yeah, that would be creepy. Kind of. Maybe not, though. Depends on who's putting the spell on you.
I guess.
I wonder what they think of the chat. Let us know if you have any questions for the Queen of Gore. She's talking witches and Salem witch hunts, and which were basically, sounds to me like women and men that were a little bit on, a little bit off, maybe health wise. And
well, the numbers in the European witch trials, that number, that really was a big number and surprised me. That 500,000.
Yeah, 500,000.
No, 50,000. It was 50,000 people.
Oh, okay.
Burned at the stake, but still, that's a lot of people burned at the stake for like having seizures or whatever else.
But there was probably that one that was spitting at the mouth saying, "Yeah, I put a curse on you," and stuff like that. There's always that one.
80% of them were women.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, not that it makes sense that they were women,
but they were.
The number of men you mentioned, it sounds about right. The math.
They were tortured until they confessed to being a witch. If they endured all of the torture without confessing, then they were let go. But it was we were on show. We did a show before about torture devices and stuff. So the torture was like sleep deprivation. They would make women sit on burning hot stools like things like that,
Are you ready?
until they confessed.
Are you ready for something I found?
Yeah.
I found paperwork, and it says, much like you said, most witches weren't burnt at the stake, but going back in your time in Europe, they were in fact. Well, let me get to the one that I thought was interesting. Not all witches are bad. That's if you remember the Wizard of Oz, there was always the wicked witch and the good witch, right?
Yeah, you still have people that practice black magic, which is bad, but it's kind of like a lot of people, especially down south, practice voodoo and hoodoo, which is voodoo is used for good, and I think hoodoo is used for negative.
Hmm. One of the interesting things I found was that they were genuinely convicted without any solid evidence, but they might have witch marks on their body. Uh, what would that be? Birthmarks?
Yeah. Certain, yeah.
Do you know where the word witch came from?
No, I don't.
This is interesting. It says the closest and most obvious possible origin is the Old English word wick or wicca, which means female sorceress.
Yeah.
And the basic linguistic root for the modern day pagan religion, Wicca. Another more specific probability is a split meaning coming from the Old English wiggle, meaning divination, and wich, meaning idol, both coming from Germanic words, wikaz, meaning idol, both coming from, which means, I can't even say this word. How do you, necromancer? Necromancer.
Yeah,
Or,
necromancer.
or one who wakes the dead.
Yeah.
Ooh, interesting. Another interesting thing I found, the Pope once confirmed that witches do exist back in 1484. How about that? And lastly, I wanted to throw out here because I thought this was really interesting. Um, Let me see that here. This is the most interesting piece I found, and I hope I'm not going to talk about something you already had on your list. But if I get it wrong, just jump in here.
I didn't write much of a list because this is what we normally do. We just talk freely about things. We go into other topics.
These are the best. These are the best shows when you just talk. Witches really did fly on broomsticks. Do you believe that? Witches really did fly on broomsticks, and here's why. This is from Think Stock, by the way. The origin of broom as a witch's preferred mode of transportation is pretty weird. People who practice witchcraft experimented with herbs and potions and rituals that may have used the mandrake plant. Mandrake contains scopolamine, and atropine, two alkaloids that cause feelings of euphoria in low doses and hallucinations.
Basically, tripping.
Well, listen, it says the rituals performed in the nude, which a lot of people think that witches always do their rituals in the nude, called for the participants to rub an herbal ointment containing the mandrake on their foreheads, wrists, hands, and feet, as well as on the staff that they would ride. The friction of the ointment coated staff on the witches' lady parts would absorb from the ointment into their system and cause a floating sensation. And their description of that feeling is what perpetuated the symbol of the witch flying on a broomstick. So
Pretty cool, actually.
pretty crazy. So if I catch you playing with your broom, I'll know what the hell's going down there. Only on the Big Daddy Roadshow will we find that tidbit. I don't remember seeing that in any of the books, but it kind of makes sense if you think about it. So Nancy says that's scary. I don't know if it's the scary part with the broom or something you said prior to. I'm always behind in the chat. Here's a great question for you. Are you ready, Queen of Gore?
Yeah.
It comes from Christine. Are people born a witch or Wiccans, or is it a choice?
I think it's definitely a choice, but I think some people are more drawn to it, and some people are born with certain abilities that can't really be explained, whether it being a psychic medium or. But I think a lot of people are just drawn to it and then eventually make that choice.
It's definitely more of a nature religion, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Four seasons. it also kind of parallels with the Indian religion. I always get this wrong. Is it the Red Path or the Red Road? I think it's the Red Road, but a lot of
And
similarities.
pagans, the Vikings and stuff, and the gods and goddesses that they believed in and stuff. It all kind of goes together. Just about every religion kind of runs into each other at some point.
Yeah, they definitely intersect. Yeah, many times. Hi, Dale. Dale's watching. Dale, we have a special show on witches and the witches of Salem, and the witch hunts and trials. If you have any questions for the Queen of Gore, fire away. We have another half hour at least to go. Are you watching babies in the background? Are you babysitting?
No, my grandson's here.
Oh, that's good because I
I'm
thought
not babysitting tonight, though. Mama's here tonight.
no.
But he's crabby today.
I'm glad you're saying that they're there because this place is haunted, and I thought maybe I had some children showing up for this silly show
Oh,
tonight.
my house is definitely haunted.
Oh, quick! Let's hear about that.
Ever since I moved in, things happen. I'll be looking for something, can't find it, and then all of a sudden it'll like be on the table waiting for me or things like that. Um, Recently we've been having some issues. When I was married and my husband lived here with me, he would wake up screaming a lot of the times because he would see things like coming over top of me after him. He would see like a black figure with red eyes like staring at him. He'd wake up screaming. So I thought it was just like night terrors and stuff, but my son's girlfriend has been having some pretty bad experiences lately to the point where she's really like crying.
Freaking out. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
freaking
and it's her seeing shadows with like no eyes.
Oh, I'm so glad you
But
just moved your hand because I thought I saw some freaky shadows behind you. I think it was from your hand. Oh
yeah,
wow!
but
So
see,
do you
like
practice any of this? Do you practice any of these different rituals that they do?
not really. Like I said, I'm more spiritual. Like I do read tarot cards and stuff, and I do believe in a lot of it. But I don't really practice it. Like I have certain stones and certain crystals and things like that. Um, but I'm not like out there burying stuff in my yard and doing spells.
Now, Mackenzie says I only want you to myself. Well, yeah, duh. But Mackenzie, if you want to come live, just hit that button at the top of this. If you're, is Mackenzie a friend?
Mackenzie's the one that's been having the experiences lately.
Mackenzie, hit friend me. I'll quickly send you a link. You can come live and tell us about it. That'd be cool if you have a connection.
I
If
don't
you,
know if it's a good idea. It might make her cry.
oh, is it that
It's been some pretty bad experiences for her lately. But
bad?
see, I feel like it's weird because I've had a lot of people come to my house and things like this freak them out. But to me, I just feel safe and protected in this home. So I don't know why some things bother certain people and like not me. I've
Maybe
had experiences, but it's been nothing but positive for me.
I got news. Excuse me, I'm a little gassy. I just had 2 cheeseburgers with onions trying to stave off the spirits. Um, it looks like Mackenzie's friended me, so I guess we're going to maybe possibly. Now, we'll have to explain to her that the link I send her, she's going to have to download the Be Live app, and then she'll have to reboot her phone. Then she can hit the link again. So I've just.
I mean, honestly, I'm going to reach out with this. If any of your viewers can think of something I can do that or something that might be going on because I feel protected, but sometimes other people feel in like danger when they're here. I've had people tell me they felt like they were pushed down the stairs and stuff, but I've always felt protected.
Friend requesting you now, giving you all kinds of offers.
That's fine because I want my grandson's mother to be comfortable here, home.
Right.
I don't want to see her upset and crying. I want her to feel protected like I feel protected here. I don't want whatever's here making her upset and bothering her. And I really don't know what to do about it because Like, there's banishing spells and things like that that you could do. Protection, putting salt around, like, the windows and doorways and saging your house and stuff. But I feel like whatever's here that's protecting me, I don't want that to go away.
Right. So there you go. If anybody has any advice for the Queen of Gore, and I did send, I'm sorry, her name, Mackenzie. I sent her the link so she can download the software. And if she wants to come live, I will ask her to do it in a different room than you. It'll make it sound a lot better. And that's if she gets it going. Nancy says some black pepper will do you some good. And, Nancy's from down south, like down in Tennessee. They know that.
Well, Nancy messaged me. Tell me what to do with the black pepper. Message me.
Yeah.
Anybody could message me with suggestions, or maybe even suggestions of what might actually be going on.
Uncle Bruno's watching from New Hampshire. He says, "Good evening to the Queen of Gore."
Hi, Bruno.
Bruno, he needs some. She needs some advice for her home. It's haunted, so it'll be interesting if she can do this. We have a question for you also. I don't know if this is your if this is your in your basket of tricks, but do tarot cards really tell you the truth? Is she? Wait a second. Is she in my back office?
Sounds like it,
She
yeah.
wasn't playing. Tell her to mute her microphone when she comes on at first, okay? And yes, please, no kids in the picture. We don't want nobody seeing some of these kids. That's not. I don't know. There's too many weirdos around today for that. Just keep the kids off, especially if she's going to cry for crying out loud. Last thing I want to do is make mommy cry on the Big Daddy Roadshow. Anyway, Christine says, do tarot cards really tell you the truth? I've had cards read before, just not sure I should trust the cards. I'll let you go first.
Yes. I've had some freaky experiences with tarot cards. I truly believe in them. But the thing about tarot cards is, and a lot of readers won't say this at first, but when you're reading somebody's cards, you should always tell them, no matter what the cards say, it could change. If you change anything, the cards is telling you if you keep doing what you're doing. If you're staying on the path that you're already on, this is what's going to happen. If you change something, it could change the cards completely. So, yes, I do believe in them, and a lot of people go to them for advice to maybe want to change something, but your future, your destiny is always in your hands. If there's something you're doing that you change, the whole outcome changes.
Oh, so it's like a chess game. It's like you move one piece of the puzzle and the whole puzzle changes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. I guess that's going to be, I don't know. I had a couple card readings that I'm thinking weren't that great, but
I've been reading tarot cards since I'm 14. I even went to classes to read tarot cards when I was about 18.
Well, I'll let you read mine. We had someone on the show that did it, and I believe it was Ryan. I think Ryan was a little bit spooked by it, but I don't know. Mine, I just felt like kind of like ho-hum. But then again, I'm getting older, so life is ho-hum. So,
my teacher, she did a past life reading on me. The very first card I got, which is the most important one in a past reading, was the Hermit. Basically, that means that I rushed to come back into this world. I came back alone. And all the other cards around it. And I was just playing with my tarot cards the one day, and I figured, let me do a past life reading on myself. Not shitting you, the Hermit was the very first card again, and just about all the other cards were the same, just in a different order.
You're still with us, just so you know, in case your screen is going wonky. Interesting. And Christine said, thank you. Now, Nancy said something interesting. She said, is anybody depressed? That's probably because of what I went through with the medication I cut cold turkey. But somebody is depressed, or is that maybe what the black pepper's for? I don't know. That's interesting. I don't know.
I'd say sometimes. I mean, Kenzie has bouts of depression once in a while, anxiety, more anxiety, I would think. But
She might be at the back office. She is. Oh my God. Okay, here's what we're gonna do, Mackenzie. Are you ready to go, dear? Give me a thumbs up. We'll bring Mackenzie up on the screen. This is the first two people from the same house coming live on the Big Daddy Roadshow. This is the Sunday Chiller, not the Sunday Chill. This is the Sunday Chiller. Mackenzie, welcome to the Big Daddy Roadshow. Hopefully, you're in a different room.
Yeah, I'm in a different room currently.
Okay, cool. Well, first of all, thanks for coming on my show, and let's hear this story. And listen, Heather, if she goes too crazy on the story, like stop her because I don't have any control over this.
it's fine.
I don't want anybody crying, Mackenzie. No crying.
Oh, I'm okay with talking about it to an extent. Like
So I shouldn't ask questions. Is that what you're saying? No questions.
you could ask questions. That's okay. My first experience was like I see shadow people. I saw shadow people since a young experience in this house. I would say like roughly it was just the shadow people. They never really bothered me. But the other night, everyone keeps trying to tell me it was sleep paralysis, but I
Oh my God. Did you hear that? What is going on here? You're freaking me out.
That was my grandson playing the piano.
Yeah, sure it was.
He's just trying to add suspense to it.
Say he hit the low keys and everything.
yes, he does that. But the other night I was sleeping, and around witching hour, it was 3 a.m., maybe a little past 3. I woke up, like out of a deep sleep. I just woke up, and I was nose to nose, like right in front of my face. There was this thing. It was all black. It had no eyes, and this long, eerie, creepy smile. And like I was asked to draw it, but I talked to someone about it, and they said the more attention I give it, the more I'm welcoming it into my life. So I've been trying to just like push it out. And then last night I had another experience, and I was in the bathroom. I was just going to the bathroom, and Dustin, Heather's son, turned the light off, and there's 2 different lights in the bathroom. He walked away, and then I experienced seeing what I thought was him out of the corner of my eye, turning the other light off and then running. I heard like a a tap on the door, and then like I just saw it disappear. And I started to freak out. I literally broke down. I had really bad anxiety, so like I went into a full-blown panic attack because I've always heard my whole life like three's the charm, like so I feel like I told Heather, I was like, I'm gonna die. I already saw it twice, I'm gonna see it again. And so like I've been pretty paranoid about it.
Now let me break in here. I hope it's okay that I mention this. Are you two aware of empaths or people that are empath? I don't know. Empaths. Are you familiar?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Nancy. I hope it's okay I say this. Nancy really believes, and I do too, to some degree, that I can sense a lot of things from people. I'm not saying I pick up anything from you or anything, but I feel other people's pains. But Nancy goes deeper, and she had a really good suggestion to look into the background of the house. Did anybody look into the house's history?
Well, the only thing I really know about this house is the coal company used to own it. I live in an old coal town, you know that. And the coal company used to own it. And when the coal company got sold, they sectioned off the houses and moved them up from the mines closer to the main road. But I don't know, like, who actually lived in this house, but it's an old coal mining house.
Mackenzie, when you were in bed, you said around 3 a.m. Were you able to move your body? Did I miss that part?
Yeah, I was able to move. I was able to talk. I was able to do like anything that a normal person with sleep paralysis couldn't do. I know I just pronounced that wrong. I'm sorry, but I don't believe that I was experiencing that. I really full-hearted believe that there was something there. It did not do me any harm. It didn't feel like it was draining my energy. But then after that experience, I do have depression, and I do have a very hard grasp over it to the point where I don't really get depressed anymore. But the past couple days, like, I stay at Heather's a lot, so the Queen of Gore welcomes me into her home all the time.
Isn't
And
she sweet? Isn't she adorable for being a Queen of Gore?
she's awesome. You would
She's
never.
really cool. She's a good friend. Listen, really quick. Now, Christina White is saying that if I'm reading the chat right, Christina, do you want to come live and talk to Mackenzie? Christina is also an empath, and she might have something to offer you, but I don't want to put Christina on this. I think I'm reading it right. Christina, if you want the link, just tell me in the chat. Christina's saying to smudge your house, I guess.
I've done that before.
Oh, boy. Damn it.
My experience, I staged myself and cleansed all my crystals and recharged them and everything, but I've been getting very drained, like mentally just exhausted, and I think that it's starting to like grab a hold of my energy. I have been telling like this thing, I can't call it a spirit because I don't think it's anything good. I've been telling it to leave me alone and to go away, but it just keeps like eating at me.
All right, let me get the link out to Christina White. Hold on one second. We're going to get some advice from other people. This is a very interesting twist, isn't it, Heather? We're talking about the witch hunt, and now we're talking about paranormal activity. That's interesting. Yeah. All right, let me get this out to Christina, and you could talk. Go ahead, Heather. You talk. Ask her any questions you might think of.
Who, Christina?
Sure. We're on the show now. It's for everybody to hear. So. Oh no, for Mackenzie, because you might have something that popped in your head. I'm all confused.
Well, no, she lives with me. I know what she's going through. Like I said, I've always felt comfortable and protected in my home, but I know other people have had experiences in my home like she has. But I mean, I love that girl so much. I want her to be comfortable as I am in this home because this is her home.
Well, that's the thing, because I do feel comfortable here, and this is my home to me. Like, I've never actually experienced the feeling of home until I was here. And so, like, that's why I'm, like, so confused why this thing is bothering me and, like, tormenting me, because this is my safe haven.
Okay, I got you. So you're when you're visiting her, you really feel safe with Heather, but the house is giving you some issues.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hi, Sarah. And so now we got people all over the country listening right now. Sarah's in Minnesota, and I believe we have someone coming in now. Let's see if I'm right. Nope, not yet. We're waiting on Christina White. She's going to have some opinions for you, and that'll be interesting to hear. But boy, I don't know what to do here because I don't want Heather. Heather, you have to give me overtime. You have to give me a little overtime tonight. So you get up a little bit early. What the hell? You're gonna lose a little sleep about a half hour tonight. Okay, Nancy says I keep waking up at 3 a.m. That's something I wanted to mention. Nancy will attest to this. We check in on each other because we're single and alone. We'll say we'll have like a cup of coffee and BS with each other. Today when I woke up, I was so tired last night. I went to bed at 8. I was up by 11 p.m. I take medication to get my sleep. I'm like, there's no way I'm staying up all night because it got me into all kinds of trouble when a doctor gave me a prescribed pill and I cut it cold turkey. So I took the sleeping aid and I went back to sleep. I didn't wake up until 9 a.m. That's ridiculous for me. And when I woke up, I was still tired all day. Better word was drained. I was completely drained. I said to Nancy, I can't even keep my head up. Is it dark out? You said, Heather, tonight? It's like darker than a steer's took us on a moonlit night or moonless night, isn't it? It's real dark out.
Yeah, it's dark.
I wonder if there's anything special with the day today. I don't know. We have to look in the calendar and see. But okay.
Well, it's close to Halloween.
Christina, do you have a headset there? You're making a little noise. Here's what I'm going to do, Heather. Just go with me on this, girls. I'm going to bring Christina live on the screen, and I'm going to duck down off the screen. Okay, guys?
Okay.
And we're getting some kind of weirdness on Heather's phone. This is a weird show tonight. I think I need to call a priest. Oh, my God. What's going on here? Okay.
Hello?
White, can you hear us?
Hi. Can you hear me?
I can hear everyone.
Big Daddy Roadshow.
Hi, I'm Christina.
I'm Kenzie.
Nice to meet you. Did Tom give you any warning about me?
Nope.
Or like an empath. And...
Yeah, a lot of people call me that over the years. Like, it just basically means that I'm pretty in tune with what others feel around me. And you seem very scared of your environment, but not because of what happened, because you don't know how to absorb it, and that's perfectly normal. Um, it I have actually been around like the spirit world kind of stuff before, and when it's around you, it can be very overwhelming. Um, but when I said smudge it, I meant like I didn't mean for you personally. I meant for someone that deals with this stuff, kind of like a professional to do it. If you have already done it and it didn't work, it doesn't mean that it won't. It just means that you weren't prepared for what you needed to be prepared for. Does that make sense?
I dealt like I could feel like G shifts. Like if someone is
We are
Breaking up.
we are experiencing some messed
I
up
can't
stuff.
barely hear you, babe.
trying,
All right.
I'm like,
All right. I'm gonna
can
need.
you guys hear me now?
I can hear you now, but
I can hear you better now.
Okay.
we're getting all kinds of
So,
weird noises in the background. Is everybody hearing that?
Stuff my whole life. I feel different.
On me too?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I just
I had to
like
mute.
this whole new
Okay,
experience.
I muted Christina. The noise is coming from Christina. Right when she joined the show, we started getting all this interesting noise. Christina, can you reboot your phone and come back on? Turn your phone off and reboot it, please. Can you do that for me? I've had to mute your phone, Christina, if you could hear me. Okay, I'm sorry, Mackenzie. Go ahead. This is just, oh, that's perfect timing with the piano keys again. We're getting all kinds of disturbances on this show. This is freaking me out. Mackenzie, go ahead again and say what you were going to say to her.
I can't really hear you guys, but I could hear you from Heather's room, so I'm just gonna go with that. You guys could hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you. We hear you.
Okay, so my whole life, since I was a small child, I saw shadow figures, feel them around me. Like I know when there's something near me, if it's negative or positive, I start to absorb that energy, and it starts to affect my own mood and my own like posterity and stature of life. Like I fight depression, but like I said, I have a good grasp over it to the point where I don't really feel it. But if someone like were to walk into the house right now and were negative and had like a very depressing attitude, then I would also start to feel that negativity, and I would start to like get into a bad mood myself.
Okay, that's cool. I'm just asking Christina to reboot and come back on. Her making her phone making all kinds of noise. Now I don't know why you can't hear me, or can you hear me, Mackenzie? Heather, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Maybe we should
Okay,
bring her.
I could hear Heather, but I can't hear anybody else.
Heather, tell her what I said.
What part?
Oh, I'm only kidding. Did you hear what she said? That I don't even see. This is outside of my circle. I don't know anything what to tell you. If I was you, I would get out of that house and burn it to the ground. Get everybody out of that house.
I belong here. I moved out of this house. I ended up moving back.
See, the house has sucked you back in.
It has. But it's where I'm comfortable.
So did you hear what I was saying about how earlier today, after all them hours of sleeping, I couldn't keep my head up. I mean, I felt being trouble too. The weather was off. It was damp, cold, and chilly and disgusting.
I've dealt with insomnia since I'm about 18 years old.
Mackenzie, what's Mackenzie doing with her phone? You don't know?
No.
Mackenzie, can you hear me?
She can always turn her phone off and come and sit next to me.
Yeah, Mackenzie, why don't you turn your phone off and come sit next to Heather?
Yeah, I could do that. I hear you from Heather's room, but I can't hear anybody but Heather from my phone.
Right. Heather talks soft. I'm a big mouth.
All right,
All right.
so
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Go and
just
sit with. Yeah. Go. I'll drop you, and you go sit with Heather. Okay. Cool. We're gonna now look at her screen. What's going on with Heather's screen? The Queen of Gore. Look at that. How weird that looks.
What?
It looks like you're coming from an alien planet, from a spaceship or some galaxy or two away. Tap your phone or something. You're all broken up like a TV channel that's not coming through right. Can you tap your? Oh God, we're going to drop you too. Your screen is not showing anybody. Do me a favor. I'm going to drop you. Reboot your phone. Reconnect.
Okay.
Come back with the phone horizontal, okay, so we can see the two of you better.
Okay.
All right, here we go. So I'll just do some talking. So if you just joined us, this is the Sunday Chiller. We have the Queen of Gore on, who always brings some interesting conversations, and she's now bailing to reboot her phone because we're having some technical difficulties. Same thing for Christina White. If you wouldn't mind rebooting your cell phone and trying that link again, we'll get you guys back on. For some reason, you had some serious noise issues with your phone. That didn't take too long. Let's see if he's there. There we go. Perfect. That's a perfect shot right. Well, here we go. Back.
You gotta watch the shadow though.
Oh yeah.
Can you don't have a table in front of you?
Huh?
You're live again.
No.
Okay, all right. Well, that's good. That looks good. All right. So now you can talk again, Mackenzie, because we're all screwed up, and I don't know what just happened to Heather's phone, but I'm pretty sure the poltergeist in that house had something to do with it.
I don't know.
You'll have to watch the show after. I'm not making this up. Her screen.
Got two strong energies right here, so
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
I don't know. He could come in.
All right, hold on. I'll be right back. I gotta grab my
Well,
baby.
just tell Madison.
There you go. All right, let's get back to the chat. Christine has another question. I have a touch lamp. Now, since my dad passed away, this lamp comes on by itself. Could it be my dad letting me know he's still with me? Touch lamp goes on by itself.
Yeah. Could definitely be that.
Could easily be him.
Do spirits try to contact us after?
Yes.
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. I most definitely.
Nancy, to look up a professional. I'll get that up to the screen, but I wanted to leave that on so when you watch the show after the fact to see all the craziness with the audio and the visual on this show. Doesn't usually happen, but I'm telling you, you got to get out of that house. Get out of that house.
I don't want to leave this house.
I don't want to leave it either. My experience has me creeped out, but I also still feel safe.
I told you, I moved out of this house. I moved out of here for 5 years, and I moved back to this house.
Christine says it happens all day with her dad and the lamp. And
yeah, I absolutely believe that. I've had a lot of experiences like that, especially after somebody I loved passed away.
Well, I guess, listen, we're moving up on the hour mark. I guess we'll leave it to the chat. Any questions or anything else bizarre that you want to add to this story? You want to try and help Mackenzie figure out what's happening to her at 3 o'clock in the morning? I guess we'll let you guys shoot. And Heather, I know I'm not going to keep you up all night, but was there any other things you wanted to talk about? Just touch on. I mean, we did really cover the witches. Basically, they were hung. They weren't burned at the stake in the Americas.
Right.
There were a few men that were involved, and they were tortured until they confessed. And if they didn't confess, then they were let go, which is kind of odd because it would be up to the person doing the torturing. Who could tell how much torture, is required?
Yeah, some people can't handle it, and they'd rather just die than have to sit on a red hot stool.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean,
let me go back to Mackenzie. Mackenzie, what do you make of all this? Like, what's your end? Like, where are you at? Like, do you go to bed frightened right now?
No, I actually feel like the safest that I've ever felt in my entire life in this house. I could kind of feel when the energy's there. I do kind of like break down sometimes when I feel it because it's so intense. But I lost my pappy recently, and like when that feeling starts to hit me, I could just like feel him slapping the back of my head and giving me a hug. Like I could feel the warmth of his love, like surrounding me and protecting me. And I've lost him actually. I was about to give very early labor to my son, and the same time they stopped my contractions, where my son would have had to be in an incubator for a while, is like roughly around the same time I pappy passed. So I believe that he's there and protecting both of us. And like I don't know, I always feel safe in Heather's house. Like I never, up until this recent experience, this was just my home. And it doesn't really bother me because I know the people that live here would do anything to help me get out of the funk that I get in when this thing comes around.
And you do talk to this thing.
I tell it to go away. I don't really pay it any attention. I just try, and like as soon as I feel it, like it sounds like I'm talking to myself and I'm a crazy person, but I'm just like, go away, leave me alone. And it just slowly like disperses.
I think it's
itself.
just something that comes around her when she's feeling weak.
Could it
Like
be stress?
stress.
Could it be stress? I'll tell you why. My audience knows about my whole thing with Philadelphia Behavioral Hospital. The first night I was there, I was completely just in a scene where I was clueless as to what I was dealing with. I was checked into the hospital at 1:00 in the morning. About the third night, fourth night, I woke up talking to myself, and I said something. I was shouting something enough to alert my two roommates. So I'm wondering if it's like a dream that was so scary that you wake up talking. I don't know. I mean, I'm just kind of trying to play devil's advocate here.
Well, like I said, any suggestions or anything, have somebody message me.
Yeah, I'll take any like suggestions on like how to like roughly get rid of it.
Shotgun. I would recommend you have a shotgun loaded right by the headboard of the bed.
What, silver?
And I would recommend that you, well, first of all, you're not taking my advice to get out of the house, but I would definitely maybe, you know what I would do? My first thing would be get one of those tall Christmas candles and put that on a very safe place away from curtains that could blow in the wind. I want to see if any spirits are blowing out candles.
I was told by a friend of mine to burn a black candle or a white candle because the black or white kind of like differs on how you like take the energy towards it, and put mirrors in the windows to warn off bad energies. But like Heather said, we do not own enough mirrors to do that.
Heather, I could lend you mirrors. I have tons of mirrors in the studio. Come.
I'll take them.
I don't know what this is. You got me completely baffled. I don't know what to say to any of this stuff. They've told me that this place is haunted. I personally haven't seen anything, but many of my guests have, and some of them in groups at the same exact time. I don't know what to tell you, but I do know that stress will get you too. So, and also you take something for your depression?
No, I stopped taking my medicine because it made me feel worse than I normally would feel.
Right. Okay.
So I kind of like just meditate and do my own thing to get rid of it.
I was just trying to see if it had something to do with the medication, so that blocks that one out. Very interesting. It looks like I've lost my chat. All right. Boy, oh boy. Is there anything else you want to share, Mackenzie? You seem like you really added something interesting to the show.
I mean, if anyone could just like help me figure out what this thing could be, like I said, like it's a very eerie feeling when it's around, and it has no eyes. Because it was face to face with me, literally, I could like feel its nose touching mine. It was nose to nose, and it just had this long, creepy smile, like kind of like Venom, the Spider-Man guy, Venom, like kind of like his smile, like it's just really creepy and long.
What about what do they call these? I'm trying to think what they call these people in the spiritual world. There's a name for this type of ghost. Oh, okay. So let's see. Nancy says her daughter-in-law's house was haunted, and Christine says, I'm still here. Okay, guys, you got to keep the chat going for me. Can anybody help Mackenzie here? Big Daddy's completely baffled. I don't know what to tell this young girl other than to get the hell out of that house. Seriously. I just want you to check yourself into a Holiday Inn Express.
If this house didn't feel as safe and like, I don't know, homey, I probably would like pack my bags and be out right out the door. Like if it was any other house, I probably wouldn't stay.
A house doesn't make a home, though. It's the people
Yeah,
that are in it.
yeah, because
Well, guess what? Nancy says that to her daughter-in-law is seeing a whole family standing at the foot of her bed.
when I was a little girl, because that's kind of, I had like an experience like that. My mom's house was an old mining house, and this little boy dressed in like raggedy clothes, like mining time, like attire, he was standing on top of my dresser pointing and laughing at me the one night and just disappeared after I started freaking out because that was like my first actual like ghostly experience.
You need to find the history of this house. The miner part of it could be a big factor. Think about it. They were always working in the dark. They had those little tiny lamps. Listen, if somebody comes in that room and you see a little tiny flame coming out of a little piece of metal, you know you're dealing with a miner. And I don't mean a child. I mean an adult guy that used to work 400, 500, 1,000 feet down into the earth every day. A lot of people don't know about mining families, but if a young kid worked in the mines, or if anybody worked in the mines and they died, they wouldn't, the coal company. Hey, baby, how are you? I see you. Let me ask you a question. Are you afraid of this guy in the dark? Do you cry when you go to sleep, baby?
No, he sleeps like a rock. He is not affected by any of it.
Please let the baby talk himself. Obviously, you're trying to put words in the baby's mouth. Hey, baby, what's happening? It's Big Daddy. You're live all across the country right now. Hey, peace. I saw that. He just did it. All right, cool. I don't know what's going on here. I think your baby might be possessed by somebody really happy. I like that one. He's a happy baby. But,
he is a very happy baby.
Nancy says, are you ready for this, Mackenzie? Sounds like she's got a gift and needs to know how to use it. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Looks like you've got an empath gift and you got to learn how to use it, girlfriend. Lori says, Heather moved out and came back because she is drawn there for a reason.
Yeah.
What's the reason?
I don't know. I just know that
Heather, is your house, or pardon me, Queen of Gore, I feel like I should genuflect when I talk to you on my show. Should I, okay, is there another house connected to your house? Are you part of a double? Or a triple, the row home, or, okay, so it's a double house.
Double, yeah.
Okay, and do you like your neighbors? Do you get along with your neighbors?
For the most part.
I was just thinking, like, maybe if I have a freaky neighbor, he goes down the basement, comes up the steps, and scares the living hell out of you, Mackenzie, in the middle of the night.
No, actually, the neighbor's little girl said that she's been seeing things over on that side, too.
She told me she was actually over last night because of her daughter's Halloween party and stuff. She actually told me she saw basically the same thing and she had the same experience that I did. But her room is in the basement. She said that she knows that something like happened down there, but she's not quite sure.
Jeez, Louise. You know what happened in my house? We also had a miner in the family. This would have been back in the early 1900s. Yeah, listen to this, baby. It's a great story. Only cover your ears because, cover your ears. This kid's smart. This kid's a smart baby. He was known drunkard in my Aunt Josephine's family. And he come home. He always owed money. Yeah. He come home and he always owed money from his paycheck to the general store or to the beer that he bought. Right? And one night they found him. My Uncle Tom found him. Later in his life, he fell down the basement steps and cracked his neck. Sorry, baby, not a happy ending. I'm really guessing you don't you're not getting full sentences. So, yeah, that actually happened in my house. Now I'm not going downstairs for coffee later.
I've had people that I've been arguing with in the house. Like if somebody was here and I were in an argument, I've had things happen to those people that I argue with. whether being pushed down the stairs. That happened a couple times or something along those lines.
Wait a second. Lori's saying maybe the spirit that's hitting up with Mackenzie needs help with something. Do you get that sensation?
Kinda. Like Heather said, she's like drawn to this house. I've always thought that there was something here that wants to move on but can't. I think that's why Heather's drawn here, because she is such a helpful person. Like the Queen of Gore, you would think is not that great and nice of a person, but she was the most helpful, understanding, and wonderful woman I've ever met. And I feel like there is something here that wants to move on and wants to get out of this house. They just can't.
I just
And
had a
I
hard.
don't know. I don't know if it's the same thing that's Heather's drawn to that's like bugging me because of the eerie feeling that I get. Like, I don't think it's anything good.
Oh boy.
I like just the way it looks, maybe it creeps me out, but
That's what I was thinking.
last night
Are your eyes open when you're seeing this?
yes.
So you are awake. You're not like half asleep. You're not
No. Like awake. Like last night, not even last night, it was probably around like this time. I went to the bathroom and her son turned one of the lights off because there's two. There's one big one and then one by the mirror. He turned the big one off and walked out into the living room. And then I saw something reach into the bathroom and shut the other light off. And then it tapped the door and it like said, "Ha," like it was like kind of mocking me. And I was like, "Dustin, that's not funny. Like, don't do that to me." And when he answered back, I could tell he was across the whole entire house. He was not anywhere near where he should have been if he was the one that turned the light off. So, like, I'm wide awake when I have these experiences. Like, I don't know.
Did you ever have experiences like this in other homes, or is it only this house?
In my father's house, I have like this energy that drains me. I don't know if it followed me here and is now making itself visible. But my dad's house, I will be there for like a 3-day basis and my eyes are completely drained, like all dark circles. I don't feel myself. I feel very weak and vulnerable. And then like I'll come here and it's like it's gone. So then like I had this experience, the first one when I opened my eyes in the middle of the night and saw it like face to face with me, it was probably like a week or so ago, you would say?
Yeah.
Like a week ago. And then it just happened again last night. And I'm like, I was always told things happen in threes. So like, I don't know what's going to happen when I see it again.
Listen, Heather, you have forget work. Call in sick and sit by her bed. Sit by her bed. Lori is saying to put salt around the outside of your home. Negative spirits won't cross over it. And I say, just like Nancy, after it's cleansed on the inside, because you don't want to trap any ghosts inside that house. No way, man. No way.
They're already here.
Yeah, there are spirits in this house, but none of them ever like I would see shadow figures in this house all the time, but none of them like would do any harm to anybody. They just live here. This is their home too. They don't bother anybody, and they're just. I mean, sometimes like you'll get like in the middle of the night, it's kind of creepy to see a shadow figure, but they don't mean harm. Like they've been here. It's their home too.
I made this room creepy just to add to the fun of the show, and now I wish I had my lights turned on. I don't understand some of the words going on in the chat. Nancy, I don't know what you're talking about when it comes to Lorraine's last name, the older lady. So what am I missing? I don't know if I missed something there. But do you have any specific questions for either Baby, the Queen of Gore, or Mackenzie? Let's fire away, because I don't want Heather to have to be groggy at work tomorrow. They work her like a dog the way it is, and I want her to get proper sleep. We could certainly have you back on if you're off during the holiday, Halloween being a very big holiday now. We could have a
People
part
can
two.
message me too, so they can message me with any suggestions or
Okay, Lori's
thoughts that they have.
if you have any questions, let's end this like in the next 10 minutes. If you have any specific questions or thoughts for Mackenzie on what she should do, or if you have any questions, Let's try and finish up in the next 10 minutes. Lori says, light a candle and tell them it's okay to go to the light. Oh, yeah, that's a standard. You got to tell them, hey, it's okay. Tell them you'll take care of all the problems on this side of life, and ask him politely to leave. Or, I would say ask him what he wants, but then what if he wants something that's going to be like your soul or something? I don't know.
I mean, I sold my soul, I feel like, a while ago. Heather was talking about the witches earlier. I did what you're not supposed to do and tried to do a love spell on somebody, and it did come back to me, and I did go through hell and back with that. So I'd be kind of scared.
A whole show called the Friday Night Free for All for that story, young lady. What were you thinking there? You had a crush on somebody who didn't have a crush back?
I was young and dumb, and I was.
You're going to tell me as you play with the Ouija board. What the hell?
No, no, I would never touch a Ouija board. I'm so scared of those. I would never.
You seem pretty articulate too. Like, I don't even think you've ever done Tide Pods or anything like that.
No, I haven't. I'm a part of the good generation, part of the other half.
This is what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to do something special for you, and only my close friends know what I'm doing right now. I'm going to pray for you, okay? Dear Lord, wrap your loving arms around this young lady and just send that demon back to hell. Get it out of that house. They're tired. They want to sleep. They have work in the morning, and there's babies around. Please, Lord, wrap yourself from head to toe, side to side, and keep this young lady safe. Amen. How about that? Boom.
That made me feel weird.
Yeah, I don't.
I know. Well, I was born Catholic, and I'm spiritual. I'm telling you, there's power in prayer. There's power in prayer.
I'm very spiritual. I was born Catholic too, I think.
This is free. What do you think? You would know if you're Catholic.
Well, my family's very religious. Like my granny every Sunday goes to church.
I got the dogs barking. The spirit is leaving right now. The power of Christ compels thee. The power of Christ.
I think it was the prayer.
Yes, baby. Yes. Can I get an amen, baby? Yes. That baby's excited. You heard the dog barking. Listen, the power of prayer works. So even if you believe in Wiccan faith or Indian faith, listen, it works. I can only tell you it works. And I'm telling you too, like, I'm not kidding you when I said I spent a week in a behavioral hospital. Basically, it's a nut ward in Philadelphia. I wouldn't have put that on my bucket list. I would not have put that on my bucket list, but now that I'm through it, I'm grateful I experienced it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because I was in mental hospitals before. I took it more as a vacation because I am very self-aware of my conditions.
You took it as a vacation, did you? Okay.
Yeah, if that's not crazy, then I don't know what else is.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right. I didn't take it like a vacation. Wow. But I can understand you because all they want to do is give you breakfast, lunch, and dinner and snacks. That's all they do, right?
Yeah, I was in 2 different ones for a week each, and I just looked at it as like a home away from home. I had a nice bed.
Did you have buddies in the group meetings and stuff? Do you have friends?
Oh yeah, I made a lot of good friends there, and I still keep in touch with a couple of them. Like, they're good people. Just went through some rough times.
That's what I learned. I learned. It's exactly what I learned. I have a whole new respect for people with drug and alcohol problems. I have, and also severe depression problems. Like I said, I went through what I went through with a cold turkey stop of a medication, which I thought was to help me sleep, and it did help me sleep, believe me. But apparently, you're supposed to wean yourself off some of these pills the doctors give you. So, okay, let's see. Let's see what they're asking here. Heather, would you be willing to read my cards? Oh, you got to read these cards.
Yeah, but I have to get new cards because my dog ate mine.
That is hysterical.
Well, he only ate one of my cards, but it's pointless to read cards unless you have all of them.
We've done this before, and we've had a card reader on the show. Would you come on the show and read people's cards? Can you do that like the other girl did?
Yeah.
So I don't know what your schedule is like. The place where do you work at? Whitehaven Center?
Yeah,
Is that the place that they're going to shut down? That's a sad story.
they're
Yeah.
trying to, yeah, within the next 3 years.
It makes us both very angry.
Yeah, of course it would. I've got friends that like Cheryl works there, and I'm trying to think who else. I did a couple. I did a couple weddings for brides that are RNs there.
It's sad for the individuals there and their families. I see that the meetings, they're crying, and that's
All right,
their home. I mean, we've been there since the 60s.
how would we get you those cards? You buy them on Amazon? Maybe I could find them and get the cards for you.
Yeah, I
I,
think I have them in my Amazon cart. I just have to actually order them.
oh, they're in your cart.
Yeah, they're the Morgan Greer tarot cards, but my dog ate my 2 of Cups.
Do you remember what does a set of those cards cost? I'm curious. I'm going to guess
It
30,
depends.
30 bucks, 80 bucks.
It could be $12. It could be 30. There's some that are more than $100. It depends.
Yeah, I was looking at a deck and it was roughly around $100 and some. Because I was
you have champagne taste and a beer pocketbook. That's why. My father would always say that. Anyway, I don't know if you heard, but there was quite a few things tonight on tonight's show that freaked me out. There was something that fell off my desk. There's nothing towards the edge of my desk. When you look at the show again, and I know you will, look for the part where Heather's computer screen went kaplooey, like it just went completely berserko. And there was another thing, but I think that was the baby playing the piano. That scared the bejesus out of me.
Yeah, he normally plays the dark keys.
Okay, well, Heather, my Queen of Gore, I'm not going to keep you up. We're at the 77-minute mark. I don't see any new questions other than that of the card reading. So I'll ask you to come again soon and maybe do a card reading, and we could talk about anything gory. Because, is that the baby? Please say that's a baby.
Yeah.
And I like your hair like that. I'm going to leave you with that. I like your hair like that. So that's cool.
Thank you. I stopped dyeing it. That's my natural color.
What were you doing? The colors?
Yeah, I stopped dyeing it a couple months ago.
I like the colors. You mean like the rainbow colors or just dyeing it for...
No, I stopped dyeing it with anything. No hair dye at all.
All right, so we started off this show with the witches. I think we pretty much covered it. It really is a short story. Bunch of people that were basically normal, maybe just a little bit odd, or maybe had, like you said, they were going through convulsions or something like that.
Yeah, epilepsy. Just.
Nancy,
I think I read somewhere that someone stole clothes from the cleaners or something, and that was another thing.
You're getting some advice from the Christians in the chat too. Say our Father. See if that helps. I'm telling you, I would be going home. I would be going to bed with a crucifix on my chest. I'm telling you right now. That's how I am. I'm
not prejudiced against any religion. People believe what they believe. I will take advice from.
What do you do in your faith? What are you recommending to her? You must have something to tell her. Heather, why don't you sleep with her tonight? And I mean that in a serious way. Sleep with her tonight and see if it happens while you're in the bed with her. I mean, this is some good stuff.
Well, it would happen when I would sleep next to my ex-husband. It would happen to him. But he would see it like go around me and after him, like it would go completely avoid me.
See, I think that at some level, this is all your fault because you were at that house, you left, and now you're back. And now it's torturing this young lady. You need a cleansing. And I don't mean zest either. I mean, like, you need some kind of serious professional to come to that house.
I know, but I'm also very attached to, I think, whatever's here.
Oh, so at some level you're getting enjoyment out of this? Wait a second. That's horrible.
No, like, I feel like...
It's bad for her, but good for you?
It's protecting... Like, I feel like I'm protected.
Okay. Well,
I think that's why I'm drawn to the house, too. I think I am attached to whatever's here.
I don't think what bothered me was in this house before, though.
Yeah, it might have been different things.
I think it followed me from my dad's. I think it's
And
the
Christina
same.
says that a couple of days after her dad passed, her bed shook hard enough to wake her up. Listen, you
Oh,
didn't.
who was the one that asked if I think that people come visit you?
I think that was Lori. I think, or maybe it
I'm
was.
gonna before I go, I'm gonna quick give you one of my experience. I've had a lot of people that were close to me pass away.
Me too.
But my best friend that passed away a couple years ago, it was different because it was unexpected. We were close. He was young. And even though I've had a lot of people pass away, I've never understood when people would say like that they came to visit them until after he passed away. About a month after he passed away, he came to visit me and say goodbye. And it was one of the weirdest experiences I've ever had because even though I was technically sleeping, I woke up in the same position I was in. I was sitting in a chair with him next to me, telling me how much he misses me and loved me and that he had to go. When I woke up, I was in the exact same position and it was so real. I could still smell him and I was looking for him to see where he went. So it was so unbelievably real that I never realized it until it happened to me that what people mean by when they had a loved one come visit them, because it was absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, I could hear you almost choking back tears telling that story. Nancy says a few days after her sister had passed, looks like she got a slap on the knee and woke her up. Okay, listen, you've accomplished what I figured you would. You've scared the hell out of me tonight. I will probably not sleep well. I'll probably have my own story to report the next time we talk. But and the chat is going off, and you don't have enough time.
Nancy said she did the Ouija when she was young. I used to play with the Ouija board when I was young, all the time, all the time. And I remember the one night I was playing, I had a gold cross around my neck, and it was me and my friend Jackie, and the lights went out and came back on. When they came back on, that cross was in my hand, not around my neck anymore. I didn't grab it.
Okay, I need to politely come up with a way to end this show. I can't take it anymore.
How about I just say goodbye?
That would probably do it. Mackenzie, thanks for your story. Listen to me. Heather's going to sleep close to your bedroom tonight, and keep us posted on where this is going. And look into the things they're mentioning. The salt around the house. I mean, I don't know anything about that stuff, but I hope my prayer works. And I certainly, I don't know. I've heard so many of these stories on a show I used to listen to years back called Coast to Coast. And there are professionals out there that might, like Christina. We tried to get Christina White back on, but we lost her. I asked her to reboot the show, and she didn't come back after that. So it's a lot of weird things are happening tonight. So the Queen of Gore, you have to come back again. And, if you have time over the holidays, or if you, even like Halloween night, I don't know what your schedule is. Maybe we can have a part 2. But great show. Thank you very much for coming on the Big Daddy Road Show Sunday Chiller. Appreciate it.
Bye, Big Daddy.
Peace. Have some good sleep, and let's not mess around with the poltergeist in your house.
I'm going to sleep good.
I'll probably sleep good too, actually.
I'll let you know.
I'll say it like they said it. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Peace. Or don't let the hauntings. Look, oh, there she goes. She's on it. She's left herself. She's like, I'm leaving. I'm out of here. Okay, guys, this is the Big Daddy Road Show Sunday Chiller with the Queen of Gore. As always, entertaining stories, and that's about it. I don't even know what to say. So I'll let you guys to the task of asking any additional questions. I'm just going to go and find my music that I was playing, and we'll end the show with that. And yeah, go ahead. Just do your thing in the chat while the music plays. This is Big Daddy. This is the Big Daddy Road Show, Sunday Chiller with the Queen of Gore. Thanks for watching, and please please, every one of you in the chat, please hit the share button so we can get the word out about our shows and my special guests. I appreciate it very much. Okay, now, so let's see what we're going to come up with here. And it's good that we don't have any sound. Cue up the music. And I will be putting your chat on the screen so that Heather can see it tomorrow when she's on break, having her cigarette break at work. I'll end with this one. This was creepy. This was definitely creepy. I like this. It fits. Creepy, creepy melancholia. Melancholia? Colia. Here we go.